Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we are going to be answering the question, what do they love about me? Or rather, you. I am just feeling full of sunshine and rainbows and bursting with happiness and joy. And it's just one of those days where you're like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. I just want to be positive, spread positivity, experience positivity. And I thought it'd be really cute if we focus on that special, those wonderful characteristics about you that others see. So we're mostly focusing on like a wide range. I mean, this could be anyone from your family to your best friend to your romantic partner. This is just like when they see you, and we're specifically, now we're not talking about everybody and how they react to you. We're talking about these special people in your life. When they see you, when they see your presence, what's making them smile? What's making them giggle and get pumped about seeing you at the next hangout? Whatever it is, we're going to be talking about it today. As you can see, we've got 4 groups in front of us. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm going to give you a moment to pick the group you resonate with most. Remember, just follow your heart, go with your instincts, don't overthink it. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to do that. Now that you have, you can go down to the description where your designated group and marked timestamp are marked, and let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's find out, what do they love about me, or rather you? We have full moon. Ooh, okay. We have the devil card in reverse. Ace of Pentacles upright, 7 of Pentacles in reverse, the Star card in reverse, oh, and 4 of Pentacles upright. Okay, so we have the friend that is much more introverted than their friends are fully aware of, but is incredibly wise. Everybody admires what you have to say and how you even live your life, even in solitary. And but you do have some hidden bursts of, energy or excitement or extraness. So let's get into all the details of that. Right over here with the full moon. So this talks definitely about I'm trying to find you're going to often find I will be lost for words. I'm going to do the best I can to make metaphors and stuff. But this sort of energy is kind of like, I don't want to say all knowing, but there's just something kind of extra about them. You know what I mean? This is a combination of sometimes when you get like a burst of energy and you're really filled with creativity, and it'll kind of come out of nowhere, and when people are caught up in your energy burst, it's super magical and creative and feels cosmic and all-knowing, and it's cool. It's a huge reason why you kind of pull back and need to recharge, and this is like on another note, but people love being caught up in that with you. And if anything, your ability to kind of share it in spurts and then pull back adds to this sort of mystery around you. So you definitely have a certain layer of, how do I say this? People don't always know you the best, know you the deepest. You kind of do that on purpose, and they kind of think it's the coolest, if that makes sense. So it's a good thing on their side. But as far as your comfortability levels, you do whatever works for you. It's not a bad thing. But just this is like a slight PSA from a fellow introvert. It's okay if people get to know you. That's not a bad thing. You'll find people who get it and will accept it. So just put that out there. But anyways, so this is somebody who is lots of energy, lots of excitements, lots of bursts, lots of intuitiveness, and you definitely, when you put your mind to something, you kind of have this effect on yourself and other people where you can kind of just make it happen. We're talking about like manifestation on like an intense level. So when you really focus your energy, you're not having any sort of self-doubt, you can make it happen for yourself, you can make it happen with others, and people kind of just want to, it's like they subconsciously pick that up and they want a piece of the pie, if that makes sense, a piece of the full moon. But obviously you get to choose who gets to be a part of that, which why they feel so special when they're like hanging out with you and they're enjoying your presence and stuff like that. Now, this is where your wisdom really kicks in. You have this uncanny ability to know when a situation is like toxic, and we're talking about situations, people. It's definitely a people oriented thing, and you are so quick without little to no knowledge and just be like, nope, I'm, peace, I'm out of here. I can tell something's wrong. And this, you're definitely the one who speaks up, and initially people who are new to getting to know you think it's kind of interesting and bizarre, and as they get to become friends with you and know you over time, they realize how accurate you are. So it becomes this, again, very exciting, all-knowing thing of like, how'd you know? Are you sure? They seem nice. And they definitely look to you for advice, guidance. They want to know your opinion. But I can tell you right now, Spirit's definitely telling me that they do not, they do not listen a lot of the time. And sometimes, I know we're kind of going off here, but this is how tarot readings are. It kind of feels like sometimes they will judge you in the moment. Like they both appreciate it, but it's hard for them to face that fact that this other person is toxic and maybe they aren't good at knowing when situations are good or bad, so it makes them feel self-conscious. So they're like, oh, as in speaking about you, like, oh, they're just being silly, they're just jumping to conclusions. And then later they're like, oh, well, I secretly knew they were always right, and I don't know why I put myself through that. It's because sometimes people feel like they need to experience it themselves. So it definitely feels like you're on the outskirts and have to close yourself often, because like, people won't understand that a situation is bad, and then they won't follow, and it kind of hurts you. But that, we're going on a side tangent, sorry, this is what happens in tarot cards. So anyways, but people really love your ability to separate yourself from that, because that extends over here with the Ace of Pentacles. There's like a certain level of bravery and independence, and a certain level of like inner confidence. Now, I wouldn't say you are a confident person like unanimously, but in that moment you're absolutely sure of the decision you're making. And again, going back to that admirable quality of people being like, I wish I could do that, you know what I mean? But I'm sure you're thinking, I wish I had your traits. I know I'm good at this is where I'm confident. I can't say about everything, but to them you just seem like this amazing mystical leader that like lives in the mountains and knows everything and can just sense things without reason, and is just able to not feel any fear ever and doesn't worry about being alone. That is definitely something we're going to talk about more over here with the Four of Pentacles, but let's stay on track so I don't get distracted. The Ace of Pentacles also talks about your lack of fear of just going into new situations. Again, a bravery thing. You're just totally okay, starting that new job or starting that new project or something like that, because you're like, as long, and we're specifically talking about when it relates to toxicity, because you're like, I'd rather do this new thing than deal with that, if that makes sense. Now, there is a super youthful vibe about you. It's funny, you have this like hybrid between being super all-knowing and mature, but whenever you get these like bursts of excitement and joy, there's just this free-spiritedness about you in that moment. But the thing that really kind of, again, adds to your mysticism and stuff like that is you have the ability to seem really youthful. Often people consider this a naive quality, or like naivete is like something people like to say, oh, you seem young, so therefore you don't know anything. But you have the tendency to show proof with your kind of very free-spirited moments of believing in everything and just being silly. Like, we're talking about like physical proof in synchronicities. You just kind of take the leap and try something out, and it just works out for you. And people get to see in real time evidence that your perspective in that moment, that when you're feeling that sort of energy vibe, is valid and is powerful, and you can do anything, and you are capable of manifesting, and all this other type of stuff. I'm giving like a really broad view, but you understand what I'm saying there. Now, this is where it continues to get really cute. You have a over here that I get. Oh wait, I'm jumping to conclusions again because the solitary thing's coming up so much, and weirdly, people really love that about you. But you get very concentrated on this could be like a job, a career. This could be a project you're working on, whatever it is. When you get focused, oh my goodness, you get distracted. People, you kind of become the main character in like a movie where somebody's admiring from them from afar and they always seem so lost in their work. And it's like, oh, what are they doing? I want to be there. That seems cool. They're making it seem so cool. That's you. Especially when we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse over here. You do not let up. You're incredibly dedicated. Most people do not have the attention span that you do when it comes to following through with something and really believing in it and you working it to its fullest. Like you really and this extends to the like you kind of teach people what dedication can really mean, because when somebody's really dedicated, we just kind of sum it up simplistically as that, but this shows like, what if I tried out this with this project? What if I tried out this with this project? Like you're extending an idea to its fullest, and so therefore teaching people about how creativity works, how dedication can lead to creativity, and the act of different ideas branching into one another starts to make them kind of caught up in that idea of like, we are all one, the universe is all connected, it's all affecting one another. And keep in mind, this is a very like subconscious thing for them, so they're not thinking these exact words. It's just like all they can sum it up as you're magical. Now over here we have the Star card in reverse. I'm so sorry, but this definitely pops up and is a very cute trait about you. But this shows a level of humbleness. And it's so sweet because this pops up when people are suffering from confidence issues, unfortunately, which is, I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. But the really cute thing here is the people that admire you and cherish you consider this like a really humble quality. Like when you're not, they think you're so great, but the fact that can the person stop honking their horn? I'm so sorry if you can hear that. Anyways, continuing on, we're almost done, is they consider this a very humble trait. And they think that it's like, oh, isn't that so great that they just, like, we think they're so awesome. I can't believe they don't. So therefore, I'm not pushed away, because it's the best way I can put it is like, when you think someone's cute and they're like, oh yeah, I know I'm cute. And you're like, well, that's not cute. It's kind of similar to that vibe. But I'm just saying, on another level, I'm so sorry you're suffering from confidence issues, because you should believe in hope and trust, even if it doesn't feel like things are working out when you're trying really hard. This is like, again, tarot tends to do whatever it wants. This is just kind of like a symbol that if you're working on something for a very long time and it doesn't seem to be working out, definitely consider trying just something else, a different perspective, a different way of handling it. Because when we have the Star card, this is incredibly positive. It basically says like, you're doing great. You're on the right path. You just don't know it yet. So again, this is about giving in to like hope and positivity. So I just wanted to throw that out there for you. But anyways, again, Star card, very destiny filled. It just feels like wherever you're at is the place to be. You know what you're doing. There's just something otherworldly about you. Really beautiful, really sweet. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. Again, over here, this talks about the comfortability with isolation, being by yourself. And this Four of Pentacles just really, I can't stress this enough, your level of closed offness makes people feel really special when you do let them in. You don't let them in often. They're aware that there's something else on the surface, but how sometimes things feel that much more exciting when you don't fully know what it is? Or that concept in horror movies where it's just dark and it's like if you don't see the monster, it feels more scary. It's that kind of concept going on here. So to them, this is a cool level to them. They think this is really mysterious and awesome, and again adds to your level of maturity. You're careful with what you can give and don't give. You understand the specialness of what you have to offer. So again, we get this beautiful hybrid between somebody who's humble and doesn't think like they're the most amazing person in the world, but also at the same time carries a certain level of like, carrying their chin up and feeling like, oh yeah, I know. It's special. You've got to earn it. And people are like, I want to earn it. I don't know what I'm earning, but yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it. Please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 2. Let's find out, what do they love about me? Or rather, you. We have, okay, get ready for me to most likely pronounce this wrong. Balsamic moon? Balsamic? You can tell me in the comments below. I will see it. We have Justice Card upright, Three of Cups in reverse, the Moon in reverse, the Magician in reverse, the Queen of Wands upright. Okay, I kind of almost feel like you need to get new friends. Okay, so I do have a lot of positive things to say, but the thing is, some of these perspectives, and we'll get more into the details and, nuance of all of it, feel like your friends want to keep you down. So I'm just gonna say that, but there's still a lot of great things we have to talk about with you. So let's get into it. So Balsamic Moon, if I'm saying that correctly. This is really beautiful. There's this feeling behind you where you don't leave things unfinished. You're very aware that you need to, and we're not talking about projects, we're talking like an emotional thing, like healing. That's what this particular moon's about. It's this courage and this ability to, you're definitely like, the biggest thing I would say that stands out amongst all of these cards is your strong desire for the truth. You want it to be honest. You want to be straight up. You would rather know the truth in order to be able to best understand and move on, or whatever the situation is. And with this is about understanding what has not completely been healed or fixed, because it's so important that it is. Think of like a foundation. If there are cracks in the foundation, as you slowly start to add things, like you build a tower upon it, that foundation cannot take that pressure and it will crumble. Many people are like, I can't deal with that, let me move on. Not you. You want to face it. This shows a heightened level of like a mature understanding, like you get the bigger picture, but it also shows your lack of fear when it comes to feeling. I know that's a weird thing to admire. I always consider it kind of goofy, but man, there's so many people out there that, hide themselves away, they push it away, they want to cover it up with some form of distraction because it's just doesn't come easily to them. And you're almost like a knight in shining armor against yourself and anything that's ever hurt you, and you want to fix it and make it better, and you're not afraid to look at yourself and say, I don't feel great and I'm going to deal with that. And people are hypnotized by it, which is again another factor. Just makes me feel like the people that we're currently connecting with are currently broken and are hoping that some of that will rub off on them. So let's focus on you though. So then we have the Justice card over here. This you just really love things to be fair. This is an extremely humble card because it's not about being fair because it's going to benefit you in some way. You just believe that is just the right thing to do. There's a virtuousness behind you. You want, if you split some sort of a snack with a friend, you're going to make sure you split it down the middle and then they get to choose the half they want. So it truly, to the bitter end, is authentic and real. That's what's important for you. You can't live with yourself if you're not being your most authentic self. Again, that gets repeated here and here. But just fairness, truth, it's so mesmerizing for them to see somebody not only be a genuinely good person, but do it for no other reason other than it's just like who you are. Like, you're not benefiting from it. I guess you're benefiting from it because it makes you feel good, but you get what I'm saying. You're not doing it to perceive something else. Now, in the Three of Cups in reverse, it does talk about how hard you go when you go out and have fun, and that you're a really good time. And that's not a bad thing in the least. But here's where it gets kind of interesting. So you do not like people who have any form of shallow values. You do not like to be surrounded by people who only, the type of people that get new friends every 6 months and they swear they're not problematic and then they dislike problematic people. And you're like, yeah, but everyone else is changing around you. Now, the thing, though, is this is no fault to your own, but I'm going to be honest with you, again, the people I'm connecting with, they're definitely problematic. They definitely have shallow views. These are not people you're going to love in the long term, which is fine. Who cares? We go through different cycles in life and meet different people. It's not that, like, you're a bad judge of character, but you're so fair, you're so even, and these type of people tend to be attracted to really good people. They tend to be attracted to people who kind of give out a lot of light about them because they want to suck some of that up. And so in the moment, you don't know. You just think you're making some friends and you're bonding really quickly. But these are the type of people that bond really quickly and then leave really quickly. But the main thing we want to focus on is they love that you have some sort of bar that you won't pass, if that makes sense, in the sense of morale. They love that you're fun and a good time, but you almost, by having you around, it's almost like you give some sort of justification to their actions. Again, I'm trying to keep this positive because there is a lot of positive things about you, but I just can't stress this enough that it's coming out in the cards that these other people aren't great. Anyways, going forward with the Moon card. So the Moon card in reverse shows you're just always seeking the truth. But what's really cool about the Moon card is you always are asking the next question. Most people it's not even on their brains. Somebody goes, oh, what's behind the curtain? And then, they see there's a stage. And you're like, yeah, but what's under the stage? And how was the stage built? And why was the stage built? Does that make sense? There is a certain, like, wokeness to you that really, the more you expand people's minds and put them in how do I say this? You put them in a situation where they weren't even asking those questions to begin with. And because you teach them that idea is out there, it's like you're expanding their mental world, if that makes sense. I'll be honest with you, especially with the Magician card over here and the Moon card, you definitely are somebody who is, I'll be honest, straight up magical. We're talking like real magic. So we're talking about like astral projection. We're talking about like synchronicities. We're talking about if you like to cast spells or would like to, you could totally do that. And these type of people, well, they tend to attract others because who doesn't love that? Who doesn't think that's cool? And definitely they're picking it up on you. But again, we're going to get more into that in a second because, well, I'll just say it now. If I'll be honest with you, it feels like they're suppressing it. I feel like it's your natural ability. You're really good at it. They love that about you. And just by having them around, they're like a dark cloud around you, like preventing you from your fullest potential, if that makes sense. So again, you're very woke. You're very next level. You're able to see the truth. But also with the Moon card, this talks about how you have a tendency, and this is so cute, a lot of people like you from a distance. You know what I mean? Like, you're the person who, when you're by yourself, you're like, man, no one likes me. you're like, nobody, why doesn't anyone like me? And little do you know, there's a whole gossip session going on of everyone thinks you're the cutest, person in school or at work or whatever. There's just this vibe about you, so to speak, which I think is really cute. And these are the type of people who were on the outside, who heard the gossip, and they were like, ooh, wow, they are so cool. Let me get to know them. I'll feel really cool getting to know the person everyone's talking about. Little do you know. But again, there's a weird nuanced likability factor of you not knowing, them knowing, if that makes sense. But again, it adds to a certain level of creepiness and manipulation that they admire that, if that makes sense. And now here we have the Magician card in reverse. Yes, you are humble. You are somebody who, again, so cares about doing the right thing, the right way, being authentic, that it's very easy for you to get down on yourself and have imposter syndrome and put yourself down. But this is the part, again, I can't stress this enough, that they weirdly like that about you. Like they consider it like a really sweet and like humble trait. But then at the same time, like, why do they want to see you putting yourself down? Do you see what I'm saying? Now, in addition to this, you do have a really natural ability to, how do I say this? You can connect with a multitude of different concepts at the same time and bridge them all together. Remember how I talked about the whole idea of people like you asking deeper questions and being able to fathom everything kind of at once? I don't know if I said that, but that's what it's like talking about. So the Magician card often talks about all the different like elements and stuff like that, but we're talking about like you can understand the emotional side of the situation, the other person's perspective, what it all means as a whole, what it represents as like a theory, and then you're kind of understanding everything all at once. You're not doing that at the moment, but you have these little moments where it feels like it's connecting, if that makes sense. And they can see that. They can see that ability that's naturally in you. But again, if you're wondering why it always feels like you're getting close to some sort of answer, you're getting close to some sort of confidence, some sort of awareness of yourself or the world, and it gets cut short, again, because of them. I did not mean to talk about them so much, but they come in strongly, so I just want to point that out. And it's so sad that you would ever have imposter syndrome for a second, because not only are you naturally very talented, and you're the way you view the world and the things you pursue, is like a natural tool that works in your favor, but we have the Queen of Wands here. This is somebody who is incredibly magnetic. Again, you couldn't have helped bringing these people towards you. Queen of Wands always attract people who want a piece of that sort of magnetic energy. But this is somebody who is magnetic due to both their energy, like what they're naturally putting out there, like you have a very intense, palpable, you're the cool kid, essentially, whether you know it or not. Likability factor, but this is also somebody who has a lot of experience. So you can trust in yourself that you've had experience and that you naturally have something special and unique to offer. So a lot of people trust in your opinion because you've already seen it or been through it, but there's just, some people they just want to listen, like they take other people's opinions more seriously than others. It's not fair and it doesn't make sense, but you're on the greener pastures, if that makes sense. And people like that. You're definitely somebody who, again, this comes out of like a humbleness and a beautiful quality. If you want something done and you see that other people aren't fully understanding your idea or aren't executing it correctly, you'll get in there and do it yourself. Like, you're not going to order people around. You care more about the idea being fulfilled or the project being completed or the person being, maybe you're having a conversation, they understand the idea, or you're healing them in some way. You care more about that than, again, that you're the main person that made it happen and even though we all secretly know you were the cool one that did it. You were the leader in the situation. So yeah, you're just a pretty cool person that's not afraid of the truth, not afraid to be authentic. It's everything you strive for. You're very fun. You're always asking the deep questions. You're much more capable than you're aware of. But again, get those people out of your life. I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed reading it. Please consider giving the video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Oh wait, three. We're doing group number 3. Group number 3. Let's find out, what do they love about me, or rather you, by looking at the cards. Okay, we have gibbous moon. So this means you have a big butt. Just kidding. Gibbous means bulging, but we'll go into that in a moment. So we have 7 of Swords in reverse, 9 of Swords in reverse, the Tower in reverse, Ace of Cups upright, and the Lovers in reverse. Ooh, something else came through. Okay, so this is one of the biggest reasons why I love tarot. You can ask one question, but if something else is important for you to know, your spirit guides and the universe are still going to tell you either way. So you're going to get extra information, which is really good, and it's positive information. So we'll be going into that later on. But anyways, so let's talk about you because you are very fun. This is going to be really hard to me for me to express properly, but the best way I would sum up when people are like loving being around you is you're almost like a character. You're the friend everybody wants to hang out with because there's always a good story that's going to follow, whether that be an experience or the way you express information. There's just like a fun, something quirky, a little bit different about the way you go about doing things, which is awesome. So let's start over here with the gibbous. The gibbous moon talks about you always bursting with potential. And we're not talking about then reaching the end of that potential. We're just talking about that sweet spot, that right before moment. And this is sincerely a wonderful place to be. It's kind of the place people don't appreciate enough, the feeling, and they often want to not fully enjoy this and jump to the end, when in reality we're all searching for that sense of excitement that comes with that potential feeling. And what I mean by that is, think about when you're going to date someone. Yes, of course, it's exciting for them to actually be your partner, but some of the most exciting times in the relationship are that very beginning stage when you're wondering if they like you and, you know, are they going to call you back? And then they do, and that sort of beginning stage, or like, let's say you're learning a new skill or you're taking up a new career. And as you start to learn that information, it's not just the information you're taking on, it's the excitement of knowing, wow, what else is out there? There's all these subjects and parts of the thing that I'm going to dive into that I know I'm going to be excited about, but I don't even know what they mean. Again, it's that sense of potential, like what could be. Often that's why a lot of people end up hitting it off initially and maybe not later. But you're a walking embodiment of potential. It's like people can never quite get a handle on who you are, but they're always caught up in the momentum and the what could be kind of vibe. It's a very exciting, very energetic sort of vibe, which is really fun. But then, and we'll actually get over here with the Tower card with the, how do I say this? You're kind of like, I don't want to say a troublemaker. That's definitely not the word I would put with you. It's we'll just say character for now. We'll go into more into it later when we get to the Tower card in reverse. So the 7, but I do want to mention though, despite you being so fun and a lot of stuff, I can see a lot of emotional weight and thinking comes through in the cards. Now, that's not necessarily how people who love these characteristics about you realize it. Like they kind of just on the surface level pick up some of it, but not fully. So I'm definitely picking up over here like an anxiety thing going on. Because when we have the Nine of Swords, this is somebody who's really overthinking things and they're overwhelmed and consumed by it. Now, the people that love you or the specific person that loves you for this thinks it's really great that you're so thoughtful and almost thinks of it like a cute little quirk of like, oh, they're always, overthinking things. It's silly, it's fun. They're not, they get it. I don't think they understand it, but let's put it this way. To suffer from something and be admired for it is a pretty great friendship situation because you might as well, get people pumped about who you are rather than like push them away accidentally. Not that we would ever intentionally push anyone away, but sometimes people don't have the most empathy for one another. So anyways, your friend sees this and thinks this is pretty fun and cute and empathizes for you, but also sees somebody who is able to they appreciate that you take things so seriously is the best way I can put it. And then over here we have the 7 of Swords in reverse. This is a factor of this. So this is when, you're kind of being strategical about the way you give information. You're not trying to be sneaky on purpose. It's more like maybe you don't tell your friends the whole story until it gets later on, and then you're like, well, I forgot to mention this. You're not trying to lie to anyone. Again, it's an anxiety thing. You're not sure what people will think or feel, so you're careful about when you deliver information and the way you do it, because you're just so concerned about, like, well, what will that mean and what will that affect and how can I handle that and da 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 da. But again, this is when we talk about a character. This is like when you see somebody telling a story and they were like, you never said that, and then they're all laughing together by the way the information's being told. It's like I said, this is very difficult for me to express, but you're getting the concept. It's like they like that quirky quality in you, if that makes sense. And again, this kind of idea of you being a character sort of continues over here when we have the Tower card in reverse. This shows you kind of like narrowly missing some sticky situations. Man, I wish I could tell you guys some funny stories. I'm not sure what I can get away with. Man, I wish I could tell you a story right now, but I don't know what I can get away with. So I just won't. I'll do it another. I'll figure out another way to express these ideas. But the point is, you're in a situation where people love to watch. You're kind of like the car crash people can't look away from. It doesn't mean you're a mess. It just means when you get to a situation and then you just nearly get saved by it, it just works out in your favor. Again, it's a story to tell. People love this charismatic chaos you live in. Again, from what I'm seeing, it's difficult for you. You're handling well, you're having fun in the moment, but of course, you're not seeing it that way. You're seeing yourself as, oh my gosh, I just went through something scary. Oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. Oh no, I wonder what people will think about me. But people aren't taking it in a negative way. They think it's really fun and enchanting. Then over here, we have Ace of Cups. Of course, you have tons of empathy, emotions. You're very expressive. People love that about you. Again, it makes the stories and circumstance of the potential and the near misses and all your thought process that much more, I don't want to say explosive, like flowing open widely. Again, you're a good storyteller based on how expressive you are, is the best way to put it. But I do want to point something out that I thought you would really like. This is a side note. So it looks like we talked about, a lot of stress follows you. It's been a problem for a really long time. There's like some trust issues going on with yourself and other people. It's like you're able to get close to them, but not fully let go, if that makes sense. And I just wanted to let you know that it looks like coming up soon, that's going to be ending. When we have the Tower card in reverse, it's a long-standing issue that's finally coming to a head. And I'm really excited for you. It seems like your emotions, while they will not stop flowing as heavily as they do, they will feel, you'll embrace them more. They won't feel like they're drowning you. You'll feel like you can be able to swim in them. It feels like you're understanding yourself better, if that makes sense. Like you're not fully then just trusting people and just totally opening up and letting yourself both be affectionate and trust them, like I said, but it's more like there's a certain level of acceptance and being okay with that, and it just feels like you're coming to a more comfortable place in your life. And it's a really nice evolution where you still get to be your most authentic self, but it's not so uncomfortable. So I just wanted to tell you that. So that's really exciting for you. I'm pumped about that happening. But the main thing you need to pay attention to is just embracing more and more and more your openness, and don't shy away from it, because it is a strength for you. As much as it feels like it's overwhelmed you at times, it's going to feel like it's going to be evolving and easier to filter and work with. So anyways, so over here we have the Lovers card. Again, this talks about your really easy ability. You're somebody who's affectionate. You give hugs. You're not afraid to cuddle. You're not afraid to be like, hey, I think you're great, blah, blah, blah. But you definitely still have trouble fully next level, totally opening yourself up, totally trusting, totally, again, this feels like to your friends, like interesting, fun, mysterious, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think they fully, and this this is a positive thing for them, but I'll be honest, what's coming through is they don't understand that you're kind of suffering a little bit, and you want to be both somebody who can be affectionate and take that next step. It doesn't come easily to you because of your surrounding thoughts. They think this is all fun, it's a story, they love this about you. These are all compliments. It seems like when you're going through difficult times, people still really like you and think you're really fun and thinking way better thoughts than you're thinking about yourself. But I'll just be honest, from what I'm seeing in the cards, I'm seeing somebody who needs a good hug, a good cry, and to finally feel like they can totally be themselves and not feel so guilty or self-conscious about what they have to express. But again, we talk about potential. There's only a bright future for you ahead. So I'm really excited for you. People just think you're so, I'm getting very giggly, like excited, like, oh, we're going out with, you tonight. Ooh, this is going to be fun. Last time we did this, this, and this. Like I said, really fun, expressive, silly. I can't express it enough. There's so many wonderful traits surrounding you. So I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it. Please consider giving the video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a beautiful day. I will see you in the next one, and let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4, let's find out, what do they love about me, or rather you, by looking at the cards. We have first quarter moon upright, temperance card upright, king of cups upright, 6 of wands in reverse, the death card upright, and justice in reverse. Wow, okay, so this is some pretty powerful energy. You're gonna hear me say over and over and over again, your lack of fear. There is a lack of fear here, but it's less about bravery. There's more of a wisdom behind it. You understand what it takes, and things that can get gritty can equal something really good. You're not afraid of change. You always want to improve. There's a sense of wisdom behind you, but definitely you're going to keep hearing me say brave, lack of fear, that kind of thing. So let's go on over here first with the first quarter moon. So this shows you are not afraid of challenges. You understand that being tested often results in you either better understanding yourself, being able to evolve. We'll talk more about this with the death card upright. There's a sense of understanding that taking on like competition, especially when we talk about this over here, is not necessarily a bad thing. You can grow from it. You can get something out of it, but the main thing is you are aware you're doing it and you're not afraid of it because you're aware of what it will lead to. So then we have over here, you're definitely the friend, I just want to point this out. From the major vibes I'm picking up is you're the friend that would have been, always look like they have their stuff together, really smart, definitely a part of the friend group. Sometimes the mom of the friend group, I will admit. I don't think you ever feel like an outsider, but it never feels like you're the main focus of the group, if that makes sense. Either way, I will definitely say that this love that this person feels for you is definitely interchangeable with the word respect and admiration, because it's really to that degree, if that makes sense. Oh, can I hear an ambulance going? I'm trying to debate if I should pause. I'm going to pause it. Back to our regularly scheduled program. Anyways, so what was I saying? Temperance card. So you would definitely be the friend as I've just expressed before. So starting off with the temperance card. So as far as they're concerned, you're somebody who has their stuff together. You're somebody who has like a million flashcards, and somehow you make it to the gym, and you're really on top of it with maybe you like to meditate and you're studying. Whatever you're doing like a million and one things. You make it all look easy and you look chill, and they just think, oh wow, I could never, if only I could, kind of thing. But the reality here is with this card is they're picking up, they wouldn't necessarily describe you as wise, they would definitely describe you as smart, but what they're subconsciously picking up is that you're wise, because somebody who's able to handle this stuff and seem really relaxed and balanced, or just able to handle it is the best word, understands that it doesn't take just one singular thing to make somebody feel complete. It takes a menage of things, and in the right amount. So by you taking on all the different activities and tasks, tangible, intangible, understanding them and understanding how they all blend and mix is what makes you feel balanced and relaxed. It's like a chicken and the egg thing. It's like you're aware that you need to do it to feel like complete, but because you feel complete, you're able to handle the challenge of taking on so many things at once. Either way, you were definitely a very, balanced, chill, like in-tuned person, if that makes sense. You're definitely the healer of the group. And that continues on over here when we have King of Cups upright. So this shows that you're a great listener. Who wouldn't love that? But you're somebody who doesn't just listen and be there for a friend. You're somebody who understands the intense complexity of emotional situations and is able to see kind of like, you're like a objective third party kind of thing, where you're able to see the bigger picture. And it's not necessarily about being a devil's advocate to everybody in the group. You're just able to give the best advice because you're not just purely comforting them. You're able to help them understand it, but you're also able to understand the place they're in. Like I said, very wise, very nurturing, which is interesting. But again, while I think that you might be depicted as the mom of the group, I don't think that your heart is naturally like in that all the time, if that makes sense. Like you wouldn't define yourself as that type of person. Now, continuing on, we talked about competitiveness. That definitely gets expressed over here with the Six of Wands in reverse, but you're definitely not somebody who showboats. You're competitive for you. You're fighting against you and what you can do and accomplish. But you're not someone who necessarily needs or necessarily wants the spotlight, to be honest with you. You're somebody who enjoys being acknowledged. Like they love that you are comfortable with being able to take, be like, yes, of course I know, of course I can help you. But they love that you're never like, yes, of course I know everything. I'm so amazing, I can accomplish 1,000,001 tasks. Did I mention I win at everything? Not at all. They love that kind of, again, I'm getting very knight vibes with you. Like the honorable person who does something because it's important to them. It doesn't need a party at the end of it. They just do it because they know it's right. It's important to them. And, this is the other person who's your squire, who's watching this, knowing the real story. No one really knows how, hard you've worked for the kingdom, if that makes sense. And for yourself, I might add, because you're always on a personal journey, especially when we have the death card over here. You are my, and I know this is used in a negative stance, but you are my beautiful snake always shedding their skin. You are not afraid, and this is what they love about you. You are not afraid to totally be a different person, to totally leave somebody behind. You are down with it. Imagine if every time you evolved into a more heightenedly aware person or a more loving person, like whatever that next evolution is for you, you had to jump off a waterfall. It's understandable. Most people feel timid and push this off or wait until they have a boat that can carry them. You are like literally no safety equipment or parachute jumping off these waterfalls constantly. Again, you understand what is on the other side. You understand that evolution is going to equal something really positive and good. And people just watch in awe knowing like that's just such a struggle to them. They are just trying to keep up with you. It often feels like. It doesn't feel like, it's interesting. I don't get a vibe that a lot of people feel like you're equal, but it doesn't mean they're mad at you about that. And I don't get the vibe that, and they don't, I mean, that's just how they say, they don't feel like you really care that, like, it's like you're like, oh, I'm up here, you're down here. I don't view it that way. I know there's something off, but I don't really care. Let's all just be friends and cool. Does that make sense? And then last but not least, we have the Justice card over here. This just talks about your really strong hate for injustice. It really makes you mad and upset when people aren't treated correctly, when things just happen and they're not fair. Yes, you're competitive and you want to win, but you want to win against the best. You don't want to lose because someone was favored. You don't want to see someone put down just, without a good reason of intention or something. I mean, not that you would be okay with it otherwise, but you get what I'm saying. And again, it just keeps adding to that very knightly version. They respect you. They think that you're on top of it. They think you're fearless. They love that you don't leave anyone out. You don't think you're better than other people. You're just kind of living this epic tale, and they feel fortunate enough to read it, if that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it. Please consider giving the video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Either way, have a lovely day. I will see you in the next one. And but it's the end of the video. Bye!